Welcome back to Data Nerds. I'm Mike Brown, joined by,
Pat Ely.
and I am unsure if we're recording.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
just gonna.
we're rolling. I see it. I see the
Okay,
clicker.
all right, we'll leave it.
We're doing it live.
Okay. Okay. So this week Pat has some more Vald jumping stuff
That's right.
that I am showing off. So hopefully, again, we can make this smooth. But Pat, take it away.
Yeah, man. I've been in the World War I trenches of force deck testing lately. Um, yeah, so we did single leg hop testing. This is for a 14-year-old volleyball player coming back after a ankle and inversion. Uh, how you want to say like indirect contact to where she was coming down from the net and landed on someone's foot and rolled her ankle.
Mm,
Um, so this happened back in early September. Um, I started seeing them, I believe, 2 weeks after the initial injury. It was still quite swollen. Um, was in a boot at that point just because of like persistent bruising and inability to bear weight. But after like 2 weeks, swelling improved markedly, and then we were able to progress pretty rapidly, honestly. Like swelling has pretty much been abolished, has had no pain with heavy, slow resistance calf loading, gone to like double leg hopping, and now we're getting to single leg hopping with the anticipation that she is participating in a match, her last match of the season on the 28th. So, um, why I did single leg hopping? Uh, because after the inversion injury, wanted to see, all right, do we have good, quote unquote, stiffness or springiness in that ankle compared to the right side? This is the left ankle, by the way. Um, and so I'm not using this as a performance metric. I'm using this as a symmetry metric. I've not related this to norms as of right now. Um, but definitely as we are coming through and have done this multiple times now, starting to maybe gear away from symmetry as we'll see through the data points we've gotten and more so towards what are we kind of anticipating to maybe hit on this side here for this level of athlete. So, um, kind of a breakdown of how I do this. So I let the patient self-select which side they want to do first. Generally, they'll choose their non-involved side first, just to because it'll feel better. Um, and I'll tell them to put hands on hips, wait for 2 seconds after they lift up one of their legs, just to get like a nice steady state, and then begin hopping. For this, we did 10 hops in a row, and then this will record the five best, and then out of the five best, we get a average. Um, and
what
then I have
sorry, what cue do you use for the
dude, why
hops?
why you jumping the gun so much, Mike? Come on
Sorry,
now.
sorry.
Come on now. Yeah, so that's a great point because this is actually going to directly influence our data that we're going to see. Um, the first day, I only cued her to be springy off the ground. I just said, hey, I just want you to, you know, the minute you hit the ground, I want you to pop right back up. But then the last 3 days, so that would be the 15th, 18th, and 25th, I told her, hey, I want you to pop off the ground and get up as high as you can. All right. So, really trying to do some higher tier single leg hopping to really stress that stiffness of that ankle. Um, so, that's the cueing. Anything else around like methods or anything else, Mike?
I don't think so.
No.
My cat kind of derailed my trains of thought.
I did it for 3 times on each side. I guess that's the only other thing, except for the first day. The first day I only did it two
Yeah.
times on each side. So um, that's like the only caveat also. So if nothing else, let's scroll down and take a peek at our
Cool.
first little metric we got here. we got our RSI. So
Yeah, it's kind of weird for the left
yeah,
side.
yeah, these printouts could probably be cleaned up a little bit, but we're doing our best. So yeah, we have mean RSI for jump height over contact time, and I feel like we've talked in the past like COV. Of course, that's gonna be like our big indicator of like, are we averaged out? Or is this like, can we even make conclusions from this? But if we're talking across 4 days and a patient is progressing, I would expect that to be high. Like I would
Hmm.
probably want that to be high, right?
Yeah,
Because especially if they
yeah,
do bad
to
the
show
first
these
day and then
numbers.
they do really well the last day, I would expect it to be that way. Because this isn't looking at the COV of each individual day. This is looking at the COV of all 4 days and the average of those 4 days from
Yep.
the average of those. So like talk about error, right? Just
Hmm.
high amounts of error coming in, but
Yeah,
uh
it's not perfect data, but it's something to look at, right? Like it can give some information for you.
Yeah, and so I think the biggest thing for myself, right, was obviously the first day is going to look worse than the last day, but that's because A, queuing was also different, just based on like the stage of rehab we were at. But even between those last 3 days, like positive trend. Um, Now, granted, I didn't like calculate a COV from the 15th to see like what would be a true quote unquote detectable change, but based on patient report and like qualitative analysis, like this person was most definitely getting off the ground higher and like just having that pop back. Um, and subjective report of saying like, yeah, like I actually feel like I have some springs underneath me as compared to like the 15th to where she was like, yeah, I feel like I have nothing. So,
Yep.
so that's for the left side, which is the injured side, and then we got the right side. Interesting. Did the same on the right for the first, sorry, on the second day there. Um, but then the last 2 days was just a little bit better. I think the 18th is where I saw the biggest decrement, because she just did very good on the right side, and then the left side just it was like visually obvious that she just couldn't get up as high. Um, but yeah, I think this is just going to show that even just like repeated bouts can improve both sides if having not done it in a while, right? Because like when we did this, it has been like a month since she's done any kind of hopping. So even just a repeated bout effect of doing it improved both sides pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's what I look at too. Is like one, it's nice that here there's not much of a difference side to side, but you can just see that there's a training effect too. That like the right side, even the first day, again, maybe that's queuing, but it's just very different
Yeah.
from what it is the
Um,
second day.
but I think what's interesting though is you can really see where the springs come in if we go down and look at contact time. So more
So
our
that's gonna
side. That's
be
jump height,
here.
contact time. Contact time stayed relatively the same,
Yeah.
you know, which is like really interesting, I think, especially from the 15th to the 25th. Like we saw how that RSI was so different on that left side. And the contact time was 0.001 of a second different.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very
Very
interesting to
negligible.
me. Contact
Oh,
time on
there
the
it
right
is.
is still a little bit better, but
Yeah.
um,
Also, for those watching, it's really weird how this is set up.
oh
Like,
yeah.
it
So
doesn't show up on here. They're
yeah,
like
it's on the top
these.
part of the next page. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just very interesting, right? And I think this kind of comes into the idea of like, oh, this person is actually now like truly getting off the ground more since this base of contact time has stayed the same, right? Like kind of similar to our counter movement jump to where if those foundations are staying consistent and metrics beyond that are getting better, then we know the patient's actually performing or executing it to a higher degree. So,
What one thing I think is interesting too is just like look at how ugh, much less ground contact time she has on the right, and I wonder how important that metric is. So like for those not watching, on the first day, which the only thing you cued was to get off the ground quick, so in theory she should still have a low ground contact time, is it's 272 on the left, and on the right it's 242.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the next 2 days, it's still like a decent ways under, like 280, 281 on the left. Then it's 267 and 264 on the right. So I'd say, like, even though there's not much of a difference in RSI between them, now I like want to make sure that on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the RSI, especially that second day, that third day, there is a fairly big difference. Like you can, I guess it's easy to tell from that
Yeah.
that she's still like springier
Yeah.
on her right side than her
Side.
left side.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, if we want to take a look at jump height, but I think jump height will just kind of
Is
validate
that
our
up?
conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here. Now this is the jump height for flight time,
Mm.
which that brings into our one caveat, right? Is where um, we have one set of RSI that is calculated as
Yeah.
flight time, and then one is calculated
Yeah,
as
I'll show
jump
that.
height.
Yeah, flight
Yeah,
divided by contact. And then
yeah, and
this
then I think the
one
other one's
further
all the
down.
way at the bottom there.
Yeah, I know. Sorry to people watching that this just like is probably
The
hard to watch.
scroll. Yeah.
Yeah. It says flight divided by contact here. Wait, are they both flight divided by contact? Wait.
Nah, no, no.
Flight, and this was
There
jump
it
height.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
top was jump height. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But then this is the same.
yeah. What? But
Yeah.
yeah, so there's the mean jump height calculated by flight time. Um, and on the left, just steadily got better. Um, nothing really else remarkable from there.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And then the right still substantially better than the left, like
Yeah.
almost a whole centimeter on the 18th. The 25th did much better, was only zero point 0.3 centimeters.
Yeah.
So drawing it close, but you know,
Yeah, I
still,
mean that's definitely a good sign for like return to sport.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah, doing good. And then I don't know if there's anything else really metric wise. I know we talked
Let's
about
see.
maybe the peak force was
Mean
like
jump
a
height.
interesting one because I don't really look at the peak force. It's a little bit down a ways.
Yeah. I mean, something just immediate to me too, which is weird. I know we talked a little bit about this off air. Is so like this is mean jump height, flight
Yep.
time in
Oh, and then
centimeters.
there's another that's just jump height.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what's the
So
difference?
yeah, so this, all right, I swear this must be a system thing because the reason it's different, or there are two different ones, is because I have it set up to where when I look at this data, and let's say I'm just doing it for like the 25th, it will show me every single rep and every single flight time, and it must have just like pulled over that. And like like I said, I don't know how it calculates these numbers, but I think it must be like a system thing to where it is set up to look at individual days and look at all of them from those days. And then it just somehow gets weird when you try to look at multiple days.
Yeah.
If
Again,
that
just
makes
for
sense.
people listening, like we're looking at mean jump height, which is the one we were talking about more. Again, in centimeters, they have 2.4, 5.4, 6.1,
Yeah, even if
6.9.
you just look at the range, like the range
Yeah.
2.1 to 8.7. And
Yeah.
then if you look at
And
the other
then
one, 1.6 and 9.5.
yeah, it's like and you can tell because they also say jump height and then flight time. So you can tell it's still in centimeters because like that she's not in the air for 6.4 seconds or something like that, right? Like um so I don't again, it's just weird how that is.
Yeah.
I get that it's probably
Yeah.
just like
I
a
don't have a good
however you guys
answer,
set it
but
up. Um,
yeah, we already
yeah.
talked
So
about
then
contact time, peak force.
yeah, peak
Man,
force.
what a number.
Um, yeah, I guess what could be it's kind of neat to see that like there's not really too much of a change in peak force um going across like going over all of these on the
Hmm.
left. There's that first day again is a little bit of an outlier, and
Yeah.
then similar like weirdness on the right for people watching
Oh,
where
here's the metric that I really care about, though.
the number of hops.
Absolutely. Just because here's the
Wait,
thing, Mike. I
why
told
is
him to
there
do
9?
10. Why is there 9? Yeah. No, I
Oh.
don't know, man. It
What?
doesn't matter. It's just like if it didn't count like the first or second one. So maybe this is something on my part to where maybe I could tell him to do 12 or something. I don't know. But like
Yeah.
it should like all the metrics are calculated from 5 of the best. Um and this is just saying like how many have it collected. So it must be weird because like I'm telling you, I'm like sitting right there. I'm counting out loud. So
Yeah.
but
Just
like they
dude
say,
can't dude
it's
can't
not the
use his
system.
fingers.
Yeah, it's not the system, it's the user. It's never the technology. So must be me.
Yeah.
Can't count.
Um this mean active stiffness is also interesting too. I can't remember if that's what you were like alluding to before. Um
Oh yeah. Yeah, well,
where
yeah.
like yeah. Um
But Michael, it gets worse.
yeah, it's just weird because I I guess you it's clear that this is something different because the mean active stiffness they give it in Newton meter or newtons per meter. So they look at the active force and then your flight time. The numbers are super or your jump height because the numbers are just super high because you're dividing by centimeters. Um, but I know something that we talked about off air, and sorry to steal your case. Um, but I just think it's interesting that they give this active stiffness. I guess I'm not familiar with this term, um, but they also give RSI, which I guess I understand more as a term for stiffness.
Yeah, I this is me spitballing right now, so watch out, you're in the splash zone. Um I wonder if you take this and make it relative to body weight and then kind of see like what's a mean active stiffness to body weight. I don't know, like,
Hmm.
is that telling you that, someone who is heavier, like, I'm just gonna say, you can hate me if you want, but like a wide receiver or a defensive back is probably gonna have a better mean active stiffness than like someone on the O line.
Yeah.
But
What is that? Is that from something else too? Like,
right, but like then yeah, two different athletes, I guess. But like if you took it relative to body weight then it's like you're kind of putting people on a little bit more of a playing ground. Maybe
yeah,
if we're talking more about like maybe like tennis would be a better example then. Like you can have a really tall and someone who's a little bit bigger versus like a shorter tennis player and like kind of see like who has better springs based if it's like relative to body weight for this. Um, but like I don't know. Like does that tell me anything more than just like RSI? Like
well, what's interesting is at least with like because they have the other RSI, but going up to the RSI from before, the mean active stiffness is kind of inverse from these
yeah.
RSIs. So like the RSI again, just for the left side was 0.09, 0.19, 0.22, 0.25. So it's getting better over the times. And then if I can find active stiffness again, um, it goes down
Yeah.
each time. They're big numbers, so essentially just so I don't need to say the whole like 20,100.
Yeah.
It like think 2018,
18.
17, 17. Um, which is still like it's just interesting. I don't know why that would necessarily change. Was there more
Well, it would be
force? No. Yeah,
the
there wasn't even more force on the first day.
yeah, so it would be the flight. It'd be the height then.
Yeah, but the height was also less on the first day. It's just like, see, this is why we don't like ratios, because the
Well, yeah.
ratio makes it look like way better on the first
Oh
day.
yeah. But like yeah, that would be like the reason then, right? Because like if you're dividing something by like
A
2
smaller number.
versus yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in any case, like I back to the point of like why would I use this over just like RSI? I don't know. My guess
Yeah.
would be you make it relative so and you can like, have an equal-ish playing ground based on position or sport. Um, other than that, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to like I would want to play around more just like on the technology too. I don't know if Vald like explains the things in their
Oh, they definitely
like
do like
on
online,
okay.
but I just haven't.
Yeah, cuz I know they have the practitioner's guides which are super helpful, and I've downloaded a bunch of them even though I don't have one, just cuz I think it's interesting. But also because I don't have one, I haven't prioritized reading them. So I don't know if they talk about mean active stiffness in there, and I just haven't read them yet.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's interesting metric. I guess we'd be interested to know if other people have used this, and maybe this is better than RSI for a reason that we don't currently know. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of nice to have us like spitballing these things to be like, I mean, I say you use Vald a lot and you still don't understand all of these things. So like people that don't really use it often or are like new to it, like you don't have to
Yeah.
know all the things
Yeah, and I think
to
that
still get good benefit.
that might just be also like my bias, right? Like my bias on like information I look for. Like I don't I have not to this point put much thought into like the mean active stiffness. So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's on me, man. That's on me to not educate myself. Look at me being a boomer and not educating myself on the new stuff.
Man, man.
I'm such a boomer. Such a boomer for
um
that. Put me back in World
um
War One trenches.
yeah, I mean, you've already talked about that multiple times now. Boomer at 25. Yeah, so I think the only other thing that I know we wanted to talk about was this like difference
Oh
in the
yeah.
RSI
Yeah.
things.
Know what your
Um,
ratios are made of, essentially.
yeah, yeah, because this so like near the end, it's also kind of annoying that this is at the end of the sheet and
Oh,
not
that's
like
on
right
me
next to
also,
the other
bro.
RSI. Oh, you get to choose that.
I get to choose the selection of where shit goes.
Okay, okay. Well, come on, man. So um yeah, that the mean RSI here is flight time divided by contact time. um and for people watching, people, they can see that their numbers are different, but for people listening it's 0.52, 0.76, 0.82, and 0.86. So like much higher than the
Yeah,
first ones of jump height divided by contact time,
yeah.
which again like peaked at 0.25. So if you're trying to compare these to some norms that you find for mean RSI for a single leg hop test, in volleyball players or something like that, um, know if you're comparing it to jump height or flight time, because your person will either look really good or really bad.
Yeah, there's no close proximity. It's one way or the
Yeah,
other. I'm gonna
yeah.
find you. I'm gonna... Sorry,
Um,
Guitar Hero.
but at least you can see like the same trend as
Yeah.
before. Um, and I'm actually kind of curious, does it go up and down by the same degree? I doubt it, right?
I'll like
So
do
this
some quick
is,
math here.
yeah, so this goes up by 0.03 from the 18th to the 25th.
Yeah,
On
and what was
the
the other one?
jump height, it was 0.04. So
But wait,
where are
you
we?
gotta do the actual math. Let's see.
Of like relative
Yeah,
increase. Yeah.
like
Are
it
you doing
is
that math or do you want me to?
like I think I just did it real quick and it's different, right? Because the other one was
Okay.
0.22 divided like
Yeah, 0.22 and 0.25.
yeah. Then the other one's 0.82 and then
Yeah.
0.86. Yeah, that is different.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah, so just know what you're looking at.
Yeah. Know your ratios if you're using them.
Yeah. Yeah, or I guess know which ratios you're using. So like
Yeah.
again, if you're looking at research, like look at the units they give. I think it's just nice to look at the units. Like you may not even necessarily need to know exactly what RSI means, but if you know you're comparing to something with the same units, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm comparing apples to apples. But if you're comparing the flight time divided by contact time with like your data is that, and then you're comparing to the jump height ones, then you're just gonna be like, holy shit, I got LeBron James, the next LeBron James in here. Like this is, um, yeah. But I
that's a
think that's all
great
I can
point.
think of.
Yeah. No,
I know this is your case, so
yeah, I got nothing else. Essentially, where this case is ending up is this person is, like I said, playing in a game on the 28th. Um, they already played in like one game actually, and they said they felt fine, no pain, no swelling, um, nothing. And so once they're done with this game on the 28th, then it's down for the off season and just try to get this, just, keep on getting springier, I guess. But
yeah. I guess what's nice about like if we're thinking about the specific demands of volleyball is they're also like not really jumping off one leg all
yeah,
that often.
yeah,
So
exactly. So that's actually it's a great point. Now we're at 27 minutes to talk about. Um, uh, so when I was looking into can this person get back to sport, they asked me if they could play in this game on the 11th, I think it was. And so after I did this testing on the 11th, I was like, well, this isn't looking great just from like not even you doing like maximum hopping, like even just trying to be quick off the ground, it's not looking great. But then I was like, well, most of volleyball is like slow, like the quote unquote slow stretch shortening cycle or like counter movement jump type things. Um, and we did a few of those. And so I have all of that also, but I chose to do single leg hop testing for today's episode. Um, and those were showing like obvious deviation towards the uninvolved side, but while doing it, no pain, no response afterwards to it. And I'm like, well, you know, you're at the end of your season. Like, let's get into some practice because, like, you can do it. Like, you're telling me, it's not painful, but this is clearly going to be a performance decrement for you potentially. Just understand that. But, it doesn't seem like you're putting yourself in any harm right now. Um, and we even do counter movement rebound testing. Now, I have pros and cons of counter movement rebound. For anyone who doesn't know it, you do a counter movement jump, and then when the person hits the ground the second time, they pop up and try to go as high as they can afterwards. So you're trying to capture like that quote unquote slow and fast stretch shortening cycle for a double leg action. I'm sure you could try it single leg, but like that would be so hard.
that'd be pretty tough.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and we have a few days of that data also. and still like trending positively to where like the asymmetry towards the uninvolved side keeps on getting less, but again, like still clear deviation towards that uninvolved side, but while doing it, no pain, no increase in swelling or anything. And she said it felt fine. I'm like, all right, so clearly you're just like unknowingly deviating towards your right side. Now, could this have been how she was before the injury also? Like, there's a potential, right? But like, I'm not gonna.
That seems unlikely to me, just knowing that there's the injury.
Yeah, right. But I think as we keep on getting closer to zero, it's like being a little bit more I want to say like loose about it, right? But like as it's trending positively, I'm more like okay, like we're clearly getting better and like things are shifting more so away from just all on that uninvolved side. Um so yeah, I forget how that kind of all started there, but there you go. There's more of me just yapping. So for anyone who cares.
Yeah, for
um
all the people that have listened to this far,
hell
hopefully
yeah.
someone.
Yeah. So yep,
Yeah.
that's it. That's single leg hopping. There it
Yep,
is.
that's the case. Oh
Yep.
boy.
Oh boy, pack it
Um
in.
so we appreciate all the people that have listened, I mean at all to this, but also listened this far. So if you have listened this far, please leave a nice review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It does really mean a lot. And follow us on Instagram at Reading Rehab Pod. Thanks.